If you have ever wondered how AI seems to have the answers for everything, this video will break it down for you clearly without any jargon. So grab a coffee and I'll walk you through the brain behind these AI models, also called as large language models, LLMs. And I guarantee you, by the end of this video, you will know more than 99% of the people around you. After spending over a decade in tech across the world, working in London, Dubai and beyond, I've learned one thing. The people who truly get ahead are not just using the latest technology. They make an effort to understand how it works. To begin with, let's understand what is AI. AI is a branch of computer science that deals with the creation of intelligent machines that think and act like humans. Interestingly, AI is an entire field of study, just like chemistry, and machine learning is a subfield of AI, just like how inorganic chemistry is a subfield of chemistry. Going down another level, deep learning is a subset of machine learning, and deep learning models can be further broken down into discriminative and generative AI models. Gen AI, generative AI, refers to generating new content, be it text, audio, video, or even code. For example, using ChatGPT to generate responses to emails, or using an image generation tool to create birthday invitations. The type of media can vary from text, image, audio, video, or even code. And to be specific, any output that's generated in a text format is powered by large language models. Examples of LLMs are the general purpose tools like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or DeepSeek. But you might be wondering that ChatGPT also has a DALL-E model which is used to generate images. Or tools like Meta AI also help you to generate animated videos. These models are multimodals as they generate output in different formats. But an AI tool generating output only in text is known as large language model. So just to summarize, output from an AI models can be in different formats, and text output, which is one of the formats, is powered by large language model. Now that you understand the AI landscape, it's important to know that LLMs are trained on vast amounts of text. And this is done to identify patterns between words, phrases, concepts, and relationships in the language. This process helps them to generate responses to your questions. So now you get the part that LLMs are trained on vast amount of text, but how are they able to generate the responses? So far, we know that LLMs are trained on millions of sources of text, including books, articles, websites, and more. This training helps the LLM model learn the patterns and relationships that exist in human language. It's exactly like teaching kids how to speak. If you have kids or nieces or nephews, you would know how kids start learning how to speak. Training an LLM is exactly like teaching a new language to kids. Initially, they don't understand anything, and they only learn the words. If you say no, they know that they have to stop whatever they're doing. If you laugh on their mischiefs, you know that it makes you happy. And as they get older and get exposed to more conversations, they start correlating the words, their usage, and their meaning. Same goes with large language models. The more data you give, they start to learn more about language, concepts, the relationships between phrases, and so on. Now, obviously, as a responsible parent, you don't want to speak those curse words in front of your kids because you don't want your kids to pick those words. Same goes with LLMs. You want to make sure that the training data is high quality because it impacts the output. The more high quality data the model receives, the better its performance will be. And as the model gets trained, they can identify different patterns. And as a result, they can also predict which word is most likely to come next in a sequence of words. Let's take an example and see how LLMs will try to complete a sentence. When the sun rose, the sky was. An LLM can predict which word comes next by computing the probabilities for different possible words based on the training data it has received. And based on the training data, the word bright might have a high probability of becoming the next word. However, the word pink will have a lower probability. And the word stormy, an extremely lower probability. In this case, the LLM might try to complete the sentence by inserting the word with the highest probability of coming next in the sequence, which is bright. Because this is based on probabilities and not an actual fact, the LLM's response to the same prompt might vary each time you use it. If you're enjoying this video, you might like this video as well, where I talk about the basics of AI a little more than just LLMs. I talk about prompting and AI agents. You might have heard of the recent glitch made by Google, where the AI tool produced images of black people for World War II Nazi warriors. And you might be wondering, if LLMs only generate text output, why I'm talking about images here? Well, that's because the reason for a not-so-perfect response by an AI tool is same across the board. Although LLMs are powerful, you might not always get the output you want. Sometimes it's because of the biases and limitations present in the training data. LLMs might be biased because the data on which it was trained was biased. The training data may include books, news articles, and websites that reflect the unfair bias present in the society, or deliberately added for other reasons like inclusivity, which became the reason for the glitch by Google. Let's take another example. An LLM model may be more likely to produce output that associates a medical professional with a specific gender, such as associating doctor with men and nurses with women. And this is happening because it's not trained on enough data with medical professionals from all genders. Sometimes the training data doesn't have enough information about a specific domain or expertise, and in that case, the LLM model might not be able to give you the right information. Apart from bias, another reason why LLMs can generate incorrect output is because of the knowledge cutoff. Every AI model has a knowledge cutoff date, which means the date until which it was trained. Imagine a financial analyst asking an AI tool to analyze yesterday's stock market fluctuation. If the tool was last trained in June 2024, it might not be able to generate accurate results for something that happened yesterday. In this situation, a well-designed AI tool should recognize its limitation and provide a disclaimer to respond accordingly that I am not trained on yesterday's stock market. If the tool is still trying to generate a response despite its knowledge cutoff, this could lead to hallucination. Imagine a situation where a company is using AI tools to forecast opportunity revenue. If the tool produces inaccurate or outdated information, these hallucinations could lead to an incorrect revenue forecast, impacting the share value and in turn damaging reputation. And therefore, you need a human to work with the AI model, in this case for output verification. This approach is called the human-in-the-loop approach. It uses a combination of machine and human intelligence to train, use, verify, and refine AI models. Hallucinations can also occur for various other reasons, such as the quality of the LLM's training data, or the phrasing of the prompt, or the method an LLM tries to analyze the text and predict the next word in the sequence. You might have seen this disclaimer at the bottom of the page on ChatGPT. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. And because of these LLM limitations, it's important to always evaluate the output that you're getting from the model to make sure that the output is unbiased, factually correct, and relevant to your request. Whether you're using AI to summarize a lengthy report, generate ideas for a birthday party, or outlining a simple project plan, be sure to check the output of an LLM model. Hope this video helped you understand what is LLM. If you have more questions, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to answer them. Next time you have a conversation with your colleagues about AI, you know how to impress them. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.